Good morning, students. Now, today we are going to start with the new lesson number 5, deposits. Before I start with this lesson, first let's have a look on mind map of sources of finance. So, here is the lesson number 2, sources of corporate finance. From the students, if you remember, we had done with owned capital, that is shares, equity share, preference shares, a detail of equity share and preference shares. Also we had done with retained earnings. Now on borrowed capital side, we had also completed debentures, the types of debentures, features of debentures, the way of issuing debentures. Now today we are going to start with the second source of borrowed capital, that is public deposit. Is that clear? So, before we start with the lesson, let's have a look on the definition of public deposit. What is public deposit? So, here is the definition of public deposit. See students, there is no specific definition for public deposit, but public deposit is a short-term source of finance. It is a short-term source of finance. Usually, the tenure, the period of public deposit is from 6 months to 36 months. It is from 6 months to 36 months. Is that clear? Now, one more important thing. Public deposit, whenever any person from public want to invest for a short period, public deposit is the best option for them. They can deposit their money to any of the company, and company in return will not give any kind of certificate, but company will be giving deposit receipt. Company will be giving deposit receipt to the depositor. Deposit receipt is the acknowledgement of loan or debt. Is that clear? So this was the basic thing about deposits. Now let's come back to the lesson number 5. I'm again and again telling you all, keep on revising the lessons. So here it is, lesson number 5, deposits. We had already studied the basic meaning of deposit. Is that clear? Now, acceptance of deposit. See students, there are certain companies or certain institutes who are not allowed to accept deposits from public, to raise funds from public in form of deposits. Which are those companies? Which are those institutes? Let's have a look. All companies accept deposits except which companies are not allowed? A banking company, a non-banking finance company, if you all know, then there are certain financial institutes. Such financial institutes comes under non-banking finance company. Third one is housing finance company. And fourth one, any such companies which are been restricted by central government. They are not allowed to accept deposits from public. Is that clear? Now, here is the small mind map of those companies which are allowed to accept deposits. So, acceptance of deposit can be in two ways, from members and from public directly. So, which companies are allowed to accept deposits from members? There are three companies, three types of companies. First one is private company, second is public company, other than eligible company. Who are eligible companies? Eligible companies are those companies whose turnover is more than 10 CR. Sorry, more than 100 crores. More than 100 crores. The companies those whose turnover is more than 100 crores, those companies are stated as eligible company. Is that clear? So second company, that is public company. There are certain public companies who are not under the category of eligible company. Okay. And the third category is eligible public company. These three companies are allowed to raise their short-term loan or short-term finance by accepting deposit from public. On the another side, from public. So which are the companies who are allowed to directly raise their finance from public? There are two companies, that is eligible public company and second one is government company. Okay, so now let's have a look slow one by one. First one is private company. So private company can accept deposit from their members or directors. Who are the members of private company? No one else but the shareholders of the company are the members of the private company. So private company can raise short-term loan from their members or directors or relatives. Is that clear? Now, second one, that is public company other than eligible company. These companies can accept deposit from their members or directors. Clear? Now, third one is eligible public company. These companies can accept deposit from their members and also from the public. They are allowed to arrange short-term loan in the form of deposit from their members and also from the public. Is that clear? So see here, they had written who are the eligible public companies. A net worth of not less than rupees 100 crores. Such companies are stated as eligible public company. Or turnover of not less than 500 crores and which has obtained prior approval of its shareholders. These companies need to take prior approval of their shareholders to raise the short-term loan, that is deposit. To raise the deposit, they need to take permission of their shareholders also. Is that clear, students? Now let's have a look on terms and conditions for acceptance of deposit. As I said before also students, to raise fund there are certain terms and conditions for any kind of source. So let's have a look on the terms and conditions for acceptance of deposits. First condition is amount of deposit. There are certain restrictions put up on the amount of deposit. It is different for different types of companies. So for private company, a private company can accept deposit from its members or directors or relatives of directors not more than 100% of its aggregate of paid up share capital and free reserves. What does this para say, students? This para says that the paid up capital, paid up share capital, the amount of paid up share capital should be 100%. See, the deposit value should be 100% of the paid up share capital. It means that if the paid up capital of XYZ company is 1 crore, then company can raise deposit up to 1 crore. It should be 100%. Is that clear? Second one, that is public company. These companies can raise deposit up to 25% of the aggregate of the paid up share capital. So the deposit amount should be 25% of the paid up capital for public company. Clear? For eligible public company, from members, they can raise deposit up to 10% for eligible public company, from members they can raise capital up to 10%. Up to 10% of the aggregate of paid up capital. Is that clear? Whereas if they want to raise capital from public, they can raise up to 25% of the aggregate of paid up capital. Now, for government company, they can raise capital up to, for aggregate company, they can raise capital up to 35%. They can raise capital up to 35% of the paid up capital. These are the different percent for different companies. Now, second point is period or tenure of deposit. We had already seen that the tenure of deposit is from 6 months to 36 months. We had already studied this, that the tenure should be minimum 6 months and maximum 36 months. But in certain circumstances, a company may accept deposit less than 6 months. It can be up to minimum 3 months. It can be up to minimum 3 months. See, minimum, it can be up to minimum 3 months, and the amount of such deposit cannot be more than 10% of aggregate paid up capital. Is that clear? Only in certain cases such situation can be done. Now, also company may extend the tenure. It can be more than 36 months in some of the cases only. Is that clear? Now, third point is no demand deposit. Company cannot accept or renew deposits repayable on demand. Repayable on demand means what? If you had deposited in my company for, let us take, for 1 year, that is 12 months. So, in that case, you won't be allowed to demand for your deposit. It means what? You cannot ask company to give the deposit back before 12 months. Getting? You are not allowed to ask for your deposit before 12 months. So no demand deposit is allowed. Demand means what? You cannot, a depositor cannot demand for the deposit before the tenure is over. Are you all getting? Now, fourth point is secured or unsecured deposit. Deposit can be either secured or it can be unsecured. In case of secured deposit, company will have to keep some tangible assets as a charge. Getting? See, it has to create a charge on its tangible assets within 30 days of acceptance of deposit. Will have to create charge on its tangible assets within 30 days of the acceptance of deposits. Are you all getting? Next one, application form. Fifth one is application form. Of course, company provides application form to those people who are interested to deposit their money in the company. Also, along with the application form, there is a declaration along with the application form which mentions all the rules and regulations. Is that clear? Also, under declaration, students, it is clearly written that depositor should not invest anyone else's money. For example, if in my company Kunal want to invest in my company, but whatever amount he want to invest in the form of deposit in my company, he had borrowed that money from Dhruv. So what is this here? Kunal's own money is not getting invested, but the money which he had borrowed from Dhruv, that money he is going to invest in the company. So this is not allowed. Clear? Next point, joint name. Yes, company can accept deposits in joint names of depositors, but there should not be more than 3 names. Clear? Deposits can be owned in partners, but the partners should not be more than 3. Understood? Next one is nomination. Every depositor at any time has the right to nominate any person as nominee in the event of death of the depositor. So depositors are free to nominate the depositor's money. Nominate any person, or they can change the nominee at any time whenever they feel. Understood? Now, next point, eighth point, that is circular or advertisement. See students, the way we used to issue prospectus for raising finance through shares, same way over here we need to invite public by giving them circular or advertisement. Here we will not say this circular as a prospectus. Prospectus is different and the circular is different. Whenever you want to invite public for raising fund through deposit, it is always said as a circular or advertisement. Now let us see one by one what all things should be there in the circular, or what all rules are there related to the circular or advertisement of deposits. First one, A, that is contents of circular or advertisement. What should be the content? Statement about the financial position of the company. The circular or advertisement should clearly mention the financial position of the company. Second point, the portion of secured and unsecured deposit. Now, how much portion will be secured deposit and how much portion will be the unsecured deposit? This thing should be there, should be clearly mentioned in the circular. Third point is credit rating. What rating does the company had received? What rating company had received? What credit rating company had received? That should be clearly mentioned. I had already explained you the concept of credit rating. Students, credit rating agency is nothing but an agency who rate companies, who give rating to the companies as per their credit bearing capacity. Whether the company is able to repay the credit or no, how much is his capacity. According to that, the companies are being rated. That is nothing but credit rating, which is obtained from credit rating agencies. Clear? Fourth point, details of the scheme. What scheme the deposit is going? What is the exact scheme of deposit? That should be clearly mentioned in the circular. Name of the deposit trustees. The way we studied debenture trustees, who are debenture trustees? Debenture trustees are those who look after the interest of debentures. Same way over here, there are deposit trustees also. So the people or the agency or the institute who looks after the interest of depositors, they are called as deposit trustees. So name of the deposit trustees should be mentioned. Amount due towards deposit of any previous deposit accepted by company. Is there any depositor whose amount is not been paid by the company? That thing also should be clearly mentioned in the circular. B. Filing of circular or advertisement with registrar of company. This is the rule, students, that once the circular or advertisement is drafted, it has to be first registered with the company's registrar. Once it has been registered, after that only company can issue advertisement or circular. Is that clear? C1, issue of circular or advertisement. Just see, it is the rule. Only after 30 days of filing. For example, if today, if I file with the registrar the circular, if I register the circular with the registrar today, then after 30 days, that is after 1 month, I will be able to, I am allowed to issue the circular in public. Understood? Now, for inviting public, company has to publish the advertisement in first thing in English newspaper and second thing in the vernacular newspaper. Vernacular newspaper is the nothing is the newspaper of state. Let us see. Let us take example in Nasik. Lokmat is the vernacular newspaper. So company of Nasik company will have to put an advertisement or put a circular in one English newspaper and one Nasik newspaper, that is Lokmat or Devdoot. Okay. So next is D1, validity of circular or advertisement. The circular or advertisement is valid only up to 6 months from the end of the financial year in which it was issued. If the financial year of 2020 is been ended in the month of March, so right from that month till 6 months, the validity of circular or advertisement is allowed. It is valid only up to 6 months. I hope you all are clear with all these points. Now I'll stop over here. I will not take further terms and conditions because in all there are 20 terms and conditions. I will not take all of them at one time. In the next video, that is tomorrow, I'll teach you all the remaining terms and conditions. In case of any doubt, you can make a call or you can mark out the points and can clear whenever we will be having online session. Thank you.